It is time. The NFL is back. It feels so good to say that as the Detroit Lions are in Kansas City taking on the Chiefs, and my favorite picks are on the way. We got a player prop in this game, a spread pick, and an underdog fantasy entry on the way. My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. I appreciate you spending some time with me. If you are new to my channel, go do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like. The NFL is back, and we're so excited. But let's do a little bit of housekeeping because we got to recap how we did last year. Pretty good year. Let's talk about it. We were up 24.43 units. That means if a $100 better, you tailed every single one of my picks, you made almost $2,500. Pretty solid. The year before that, we're up over 43 units. You would have made over $4,000, which is awesome. We've been tossing out some winners, and hopefully this year is no different. Hopefully this year it's even better than those previous two seasons. And I want to say something important because we have such a big community. Thanks to all you guys. We have so many fans out there that tail the plays, and the lines are going to change quick. So if you ever want to get our plays early, do me a favor, join the Dub Club, the Discord. It's linked down below, top link in description. You won't be able to miss it. It'll also be in the pinned comment. You get all of our plays early. You get access to our Discord. You get to chat with us, sweat with us, everything in between. You get all the plays early, especially, which is the big one. And these lines are going to move. You'll see when we talk about it. Just not only here, the NBA's on the way, and those lines shift like crazy. And the best part, I haven't even mentioned the best part about our Dub Club. It's only $5.99 a month. That's less than 20 cents a day. And the second best part is I'll give you a 7-day free trial. So if you want to check it out, see if you like the Dub Club for 7 days, just to carry maybe into this week one, go for it. It's all the details down below. And you can cancel if you want to, but here, check it out. All the details down below. But without further ado, let's hop into our favorite picks. Our first pick of the year needs to be a winner. We're going to a player prop first. We're diving into my favorite spread pick. It's going to be a man by the name of David Montgomery. I like his over 64.5 rushing plus receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, personally, I'd play this to about 72.5. You got a little bit of line discrepancy as I record this, and when I dropped the play, because it was about 68, 69.5 on other books, but 64.5, I'll take that. I think he gets over 75, probably 80 yards if he is going to cash this for us. And honestly, if you watch my NFL season long entry video, you know I'm actually on Montgomery's over in touchdowns on the year, which is 6.5. Now, it would be nice if he gets one on Thursday night, but I won't complain if he wants to wait for maybe next week. But either way, I really like this one. If we're going to look at Montgomery's spots, obviously the former Chicago Bear now in Detroit with the Lions. Look at his other line. So let's just take a peek at him. You got his rushing yards line, 53.5. Now, if you're like, Austin, I do not have a rushing plus receiving yards, that's the one to take, the rushing yards. I would take the rushing yards any day of the week. You see the receiving yards at 12.5. Obviously, they're expecting a little bit more rushing yards than receiving yards. If Montgomery goes out there and only gets 50 receiving yards, oh, hey, we're probably going to cash this one. But either way, I'd pivot towards the rushing yards. And you look at his attempts, though. They're expecting 12.5 attempts, juiced on the over, and receptions was 1.5, minus 200. I saw some books switch to 2.5, plus 130 on the value. So they're not only expecting, to see 10, 12, maybe more carries than that. They also think he gets a couple receptions, which is good for us. We need the ball in his hands, obviously, to hit this over. But while everyone's going to be excited for Jahmyr Gibbs, and by no imagination, I'm actually pretty excited for him. I try to get him on all my fantasy football teams, but it's still a rookie in his first start of the NFL. And this is a Lions team that obviously is out without Jameson Williams for the first 6 weeks. And they really just got Amon-Ra St. Brown out there as a really target, receiving weapon. Josh Reynolds and Marvin Jones will play into the fold, but it's going to be a guy in Jahmyr Gibbs that who knows how much he's going to be used in week one. Will he be used as more of a receiver? Will they put Montgomery and Gibbs on the field at the same time? Potentially, but at the end of the day, I think Montgomery's going to be the leader of this rushing attack, and this is a pretty good offensive line. And Montgomery, you look at over the last two seasons, we just looked at his lines. Over the last two seasons, Montgomery, 10 plus rushing attempts and one or more receptions in 23 games over the last two seasons. In those games, he's over this line in 20 of 23. Now, obviously, that was with the Bears. This is with the Lions. I can't tell you, hey, David Montgomery's getting 10 rushing yards or rushing attempts and at least one reception. I can't guarantee that. I'm not in the Lions head coach, but I think at the end of the day, you got Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the field. The best way to keep him off the field is to run the football. And I think Montgomery's their best solution there in terms of pounding the rock up the middle. We obviously don't know if Chris Jones is going to play for Kansas City with this contract dispute. Hasn't been in camp all year long or all off season. And at the end of the day, I like Montgomery to go out there and do his thing. You're asking this Lions offense that just has Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously otherworldly talent, very good. Other side, they're relying on Gibbs, a rookie. Sam Laporta, a tight end, also a rookie. I think they're going to lean on the veteran and David Montgomery to get it done. And you look at according to Pro Football Focus, Lions offensive line currently ranks 5th best in the NFL, which will be the best that Montgomery has played behind. He was very talented with the Bears, very successful there. I think he carries that over into Detroit, tries to turn some of the fans that obviously love Jamal Williams, fan favorite, now in New Orleans. He's kind of hopefully filling in that void that Jamal Williams left. And I think David Montgomery, they paid him decently over this offseason. They're going to use him, and I think he can get us over 64.5 rushing plus receiving yards. So my first pick of the year is going to be David Montgomery, over 64.5 rushing plus receiving yards. If you missed it, I like his rushing yards as a pivot if you can't take rushing plus receiving, but you should be able to do it if you're on a FanDuel, DraftKings, even PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, you name it. All the DFS apps should have the ability to combo them. I think that's a little bit safer because we've seen Montgomery. He's not a slouch in terms of receiving the ball. He can get a 5-yard reception turn into 15, 20 yards, and that could be the difference here. So David Montgomery, we're counting on you, buddy. We also need you to get into the end zone if you could. Now for my spread pick, obviously spread picks are always hostile. The comment section goes crazy. One team's going to love you. One team's going to hate you. That's how it is. But this is who I'm riding with. And I'm riding with the Kansas City Chiefs, the home team, -4.5, -110 on BetMGM. Now, there's a chance some books are at 5, 5.5. Don't really see a big difference there. Obviously, not a lot of games are going to finish with 5-point differential. If the Chiefs win by 5, whatever, but you can definitely shop around and get the 4.5 if you can. Obviously, you'd rather get the lowest number there possible for the Chiefs if you can. No reason to pay 5.5 when you have so many other books with the 4.5 line. But either way, I really like this one. And if you want to take Chiefs to win by 1 to 13 points, I don't think that's terrible, but I think this is the better way to go. And we're relying on the Chiefs here. Now, I understand there's a lot of question marks here surrounding the Chiefs. Travis Kelce was the injury news that popped up on the radar. Thankfully, no pop, knock on wood, for Travis Kelce right now in terms of his knee, but he hyperextended his knee on Tuesday. That obviously saw the line shift all the way from +6.5 down to -4.5. Chris Jones is still a question mark too, but at the end of the day, I'm going to trust the Chiefs here. And I know some people will say Super Bowl hangover and things of that nature, but it's the Lions team that has a lot on their plate here. Man, they have high expectations going into this year. Obviously, they were a big surprise last year. I mean, people in that organization did not think it was a surprise, but in terms of the NFL casual fan, they did not expect the Lions to be as good as they were. And they were obviously pretty talented, almost making the playoffs. But still, going on the road in your first game with high expectations this year, they're the front runners to win their division. Going into Arrowhead, a very loud stadium, I think I'd rather trust the home team in this one. I think the Chiefs obviously have the home field advantage. They got Patrick Mahomes, and since Patrick Mahomes took over as the lead quarterback for the Chiefs have won their opening game. They're 5-0, but they've also won those games by 23, 4, 14, 14, and 10 points. So been winning them in pretty decisive manner. I don't really love the Lions defense. They obviously made some upgrades this offseason. Still, it's going to take some time to mesh. And I think everyone's counting out the Chiefs defense. They're saying, hey, Chris Jones out. Their old defense stinks. Steve Spagnuolo is still a very good defensive coordinator. I think he gets the guys ready to go. Now, I know people are going to say, hey, the Lions only lost by 3 last year in week 1 to the Eagles. Yeah, that's true. But they were down 17 going into the fourth. They needed 2 touchdowns in the fourth and to hold the Eagles scoreless to get that game to a 3-point deficit. I really don't want to weigh too much into that. I think the Chiefs are obviously the better team here. They obviously have Patrick Mahomes, the best player on the field. I'm going to trust him at home, even if Kelce doesn't play. If Kelce does play, great. If he doesn't, we've seen Mahomes do just as much with less. I mean, we've seen him obviously be out there and still balling out with not a great cast of characters around him. I really like the Chiefs to get it done at home, -4.5. We need them to win by 5 or more. I think Patty Mahomes leads us to a victory in the spread department to get off the season. So those are our 2 favorite picks, but 1 unit on each of them. Now it's time for Underdog Fantasy. I didn't mention at the top of the show, but speaking of Pat Mahomes, they got a free square. Take advantage of it. Patrick Mahomes, get 1 yard. He doesn't need to get more than 1, just 1 yard, and you cash out on one of your entries and one of your legs. And if you want to take advantage on Underdog Fantasy, you can also get a sign-up bonus. Use code COS or one of the links down below in the description. Right below the Dub Club link, you can find the link to join Underdog Fantasy. Ton of different states. Here's all the states that are available for Underdog Fantasy. You want that pick 'em in your state. Take advantage of it. If you sign up with our code COS, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Take advantage of it. The link's also down below. Here's how I am using the Patrick Mahomes free square, though. Here's my legs. Now, Isaiah Pacheco, higher than 50.5 receiving or rushing yards, not receiving yards. That's like 9.5. I like him today. Patrick Mahomes, obviously higher than 0.5 total yards. That's the free square. David Montgomery's the leg, obviously a little bit higher than what we took, but still confident he gets that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, higher than 75.5 receiving yards. And then Sam Laporta, lower than 3 receptions. Laporta could end up pushing his over 3.5 receptions, like +150. So I don't think he gets more than 3. Maybe it pushes and we get that leg voided. But either way, I really do think that this is a pretty good leg. $10 to win 200. That's the max you can bet on the free square, but they got plenty more free squares in the future. So if you want to sign up for Underdog, I definitely recommend them. We're gonna have a ton of different Underdog Fantasy entries the rest of the season long. But that's Thursday night, baby. NFL's back. We'd love to see it. Lions, Chiefs. Let me know your favorite picks down below. We're going to have a great season all season long. And if you want to get our plays early, you better have them texted to you or sent to you in the Dub Club or the Discord. Definitely, I recommend it. It's a 7-day free trial down below if you want to check it out. Only $5.99 a month, less than 20 cents a day. And you're going to get all the lines early. And I promise you, it will pay for itself when one of the lines moves. And you could have gotten it early when you signed up for the Dub Club. And then you waited till when the video came out and the line landed right in the middle. It's going to happen more often. Sometimes. It's not going to happen every time, but it will happen at least once. And that'll probably pay for it in itself, the fee to get in. But either way, love you guys. Let's have a great Thursday night football game, and we'll be back with some more NFL videos the rest of the week. Stay tuned. It's going to be a big NFL season. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.